What the hell?
Oh
Scared,
my goodness.
I love
scared the
videos
bejesus out of
so
me.
much. I feel like the more we play it, the better, like the less it'll be scary. It's just so funny, but it makes me laugh every time.
Scared the
Hey,
bejesus out of me. I swear to
hey,
God.
everybody in the chat. I see Juju,
Yes.
our cousin, Antoinette, Dada, Nessa, Kendra. Hello. Okay, so I guess we're gonna just go ahead and pop it off. Welcome to Cutting Up with C4. If you don't know me, I'm Author Nasty. I'm an author, editor, ghostwriter, and writing extraordinaire.
And I am Jazz the Book Talk Rookie, a book influencer, avid reader, and I do author swag and book merch. Who's touching stuff?
I don't know.
Stop touching.
I thought
Because
I
I was
thought
trying to figure out where the chat was. Oh, never mind. I see it. It says
Yeah.
chat.
Don't touch nothing. Like, what is
big,
happening?
big,
Don't
big, big.
don't touch nothing.
I'm screaming.
It's Shawnee girl.
I am Shawnee, aka Audrey Shanice. I'm an audiobook narration mentor, and podcast host of Voices Beyond the Pages.
I am Arthur B. Beauty. I am a beta reader and also a proofreader. And I just released my second book today.
Woo woo!
Hey.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, hold on
Oh,
now.
hi everybody. I'm sorry I came in late.
Mm-mm.
You're allowed. I think it's okay. And obviously, together we are the founding members of Core 4, a group comprised of women who are book lovers, friends, and sisters. Today's topic is friendship love languages. And I know that usually we'd be like, oh, love languages, that's just for relationships. But it's not. It's also for your friendships. And just about how we operate within those to love our friends and how we're able to show them that we love them.
Period, boo.
Period.
Period, boo. Y'all are so silly. Beauty, what's your love language?
This is nice.
Who said that?
No.
Well, not just beauty. I guess everybody
Um,
can ask, and then beauty can go. What's your love language?
what's my love language? Uh, I'm gonna definitely say act of service. And by nature, I am a born protector. I just naturally hone into protecting everyone around me. Um, and I'm also going to say communication because I don't feel like there is anything that me and my friends can go through that we can't talk through.
That's gone. I feel like everybody know my love language because it's gift giving. It's
I was
gift
gonna
gift
say
giving
gift
and
giving.
receiving. But I also
Yes.
enjoy quality time. Like if I feel if someone is not around me or in my space, and we don't, I feel like we do this often too, where we're around each other but we're not talking. Like we ain't got to be holding no conversations. Like communication is not one of my love languages. If I'm in your space, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That's cute. Shawnee, what's your
Me?
love language? Yeah, you.
My love language is definitely acts of service, and but I think words of affirmation is my top one, and then it would be acts of service, and then quality time. If I can get a little bit of like acts of service, quality time mashed together, you know that would be great. Because if I want to do stuff for you while I spend time with you.
That laugh. I feel like I'm more of like I'm like a love language anomaly. And the reason I say that is because the the more relationships and friendships that I get into, I start to realize that I'm kind of more like a chameleon. Like, I feel like my best act of service to give to other people is an act of service. Like, that's my best love language. That's the way I best communicate it. But I also feel like I'm easily able to adhere to whatever my friend needs. I know that Jazz wants quality time and she loves gifts, right? So a seafood boil, she gonna be piped every time. She gonna be piped every time. I know Beauty, she is a communicator, and she is definitely big on acts of service. So if I want to show Beauty that I love her, I need to communicate that to her. That, hey, I don't know if I told you this or not today, but I love you. You know, she'll play with her nipples, right? I know with Shawnee, she she makes this joke, but it's not a joke. She always says she's not a good gift giver.
I'm not.
She always says that. So, but the funny thing is, she may not be a good gift giver, but she's extremely considerate. And in exchange or in return, as far as, communicating and loving her, um, words of affirmation. And she always says this: "Talk to me nice."
Talk
So
to me
Shawnee
nice.
talks to me nice, right? So she loves to be praised. So I think I can do all of those things, but as it pertains to my friends or your friends, I think you have to figure out what things make them feel loved, and like what kind of things inside of those love languages you can do. Not just, oh, act of service. Okay, but what does that look like? What
Yeah.
service did you act in?
And I think that's where I struggle, even because my husband is acts of service, and that's why I learned about love languages. We got the book and we learned about love languages, but then I had to learn that my love language, how I receive love, is not how I am supposed to give love, because it's necessarily not your love language. Like Nasty, she don't like getting gifts. It's not a priority for her. It's not something. So you can give it to her. I can give her a gift, and I'd be like, and she'd be like, "Thank you." No, no, I need more energy. Oh, that's not her love language. So I know y'all joke all this time, but and I don't know how. Like she said, in learning the other love languages that are not your love language, like I'm not good with words of affirmation. So I was dead serious when I told her that day that her mind is magical because I felt that I could think.
You ate with that though, because I really do use it to pour back into myself. It was funny at the time, but it does work.
I had nothing else to give. That was it. And beauty, her love language is not physical touch, but I love loving on her that way. Even though she doesn't like it, there's a small glimpse of it in there that's like, all right, that's enough. It, it's a small glimpse. It's a small glimpse. And with Shawnee, our communication, and that's the thing with having multiple friends that all connect on different levels, our communication is still a learning barrier because, but I love the fact that she accepts the fact that I'm always questioning something without trying to offend her. Because we all come from different walks of life. So, in order for me to learn my friends, for me, I have to ask questions because I'm not really good at communication.
And I think what comes into play with that too, though, is you have to have a friend. I'm like myself, where I don't live in a place of I'm constantly going to be offended by what you say. Because I trust you as my sister, I'm not automatically going to be like, oh, you're attacking me. You know what I mean? But I think that if I were different and I was like, oh, like, why is Jazz always questioning everything I say? It would maybe, I would receive it differently. But I know that you're coming from a place of like genuine, like, curiosity in a way where it's just like I want to understand you better. So I'm gonna ask these prying questions so that I can do that. So yeah.
Uh, um, I'm gonna ask Jazz, what is the importance of operating in your love language and how not doing so might, cause problems between you or like not just you in a friendship, but you in a relationship. Like how would you do it?
I think it causes problems when you're not willing to learn the other person. Like if my love language is quality time and gift giving, and I close my mind off to anything else, like I'm going to give you my quality time, and you're like, bruh, back the hell up. Like I don't want to be around you 24/7, but I'm always forcing it on you. If I'm always buying you stuff, and you're like, I just need you to say, hey, you look good today. Hey, how you doing? Check up on you, and I'm not doing it. I think that's when it causes problems. Friendship, and I feel like older friendships. Like I don't have friends that I've known for 20 plus years. Because my cutoff game is strong and I stay to myself. So in learning people as an adult, it's like, okay, I'm mature enough to know that we can disagree and move forward. As long as there is a open dialogue, as long as there's communication being here, we know that we can agree to disagree and move forward. I think that's the from my perspective of where you can cause friction in friendship.
I also feel like you have to love people according to what they need. Um, and if you're not willing to love someone according to that, then you might as well just probably go ahead and say that you don't love them. Because, and I know that probably sounds like super harsh, but it's true. You don't love people in accordance to what you can give them. Because what you might define as loving me and what might feel like enough, I might tell you that that's not enough because I'm not receiving that properly. And I think kind of like what you said, Jazz, but also being able to have like that safe space to um communicate like this is what I need. And I feel like a lot of friendships, we laugh about the miscommunication trope in books like in relationships, but we don't talk about it enough in friendships. I think that the miscommunication trope is alive and well in friendships because there are a lot of times where we're not willing to communicate with our friends, or we feel like, dang, if I communicate this to my friend, maybe they may not be receptive. So I think another important thing is like make sure you have a safe space in your friendship to communicate, reciprocate, but also receive the love or the love language that's being put out.
Well,
Absolutely.
I had a question and I lost it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know I'm forgetful.
You got to
Hey,
have a
Miss Monique.
notepad over there.
Right.
But meanwhile, I got her notepad.
Bye.
Hollering.
Uh-uh. This is cool though. So how many of y'all have long lasting friendships? How long have they lasted? That go for
I,
y'all too in the chat. This is a live
I
podcast.
have been friends with my best friend Renee for ah, literally 20 years this year. We met when I was like 16, and like I wasn't one to like have a lot of friends. So when she approached me, we were kind of like cool, but we weren't like cool, you know what I mean? And so when the summer came, she gave me her phone number and she was like, I'm going to work at a summer camp, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, cool, see you next year.
Bye.
She was like, I'm gonna call you.
See you next
She was like,
year.
I'm gonna
Bye.
call you. She was like, I'm gonna call you, over the summer. And I was like, yeah, everybody says that, whatever, right? And so one day my mom is just like, hey, somebody's on the phone for you. And I'm like, whatever. So I pick up and she's there. She's like, hey, and she just starts telling me about camp. And I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? And so, but I had a friend before her that I considered my best friend. And so, but we were always in this like silent competition. And it was really only her competing with me, but I didn't know because y'all know I'm oblivious to things sometimes. Um, so, Renee and her just always bumped heads, and it was just always this weird kind of relationship between them two. But I say all that to say, my best friend, I was her best friend, but she wasn't my best friend for a very long time. And I didn't realize that until one day she told me, like, are you dumb? If any of y'all have actually, you probably none of y'all have actually met my best friend, but she's very blunt. She's an Aquarius. She's very blunt. She's just like, Shauna, are you stupid? Like, you are literally my best friend, and like, what is going on here? So she had to tell me that we were best friends, but like we had already been friends for like hell 5 years. She told me this like after I had my first son. I was 20 years old and I was oblivious, but yeah, I've had that friendship for 20 years this year. And you get to learn a person and you know what their likes are, their dislikes are, and you know what their communication styles are. So like I know with all of you, we have different communication styles, and I can, but we all are very much clingy. Like I need to hear from you within these time frames. But with her, I can go months and months and months and months. I say she's my soulmate, but months and months without talking, and then we see each other again, and it's like it never happened. So yeah.
Yeah. Beauty, you said you had a long one too.
Yeah, I actually have a few. So my best friend, my very first friend, beside outside of my siblings, she passed away when we were 33 from breast cancer. We
Sorry to hear
were,
that.
thank you. Our mothers say that we were friends in the wombs because they were friends first. They used to actually work side by side. Both big bellies and all. We were only born 8 days apart, and we had been friends since we were in diapers. Our moms were always
That's
hanging out, so we were
sweet.
always hanging out. Yeah. And she, like I said, she passed away when we were 33. And I have three best friends now outside of you guys. And none of them I have been friends with under 15 years. We have, it's not been easy being friends with, that many people for that long amount of time. But like I said before, I don't think that there's anything that any of us have ever been through with each other that we couldn't sit down and talk about. Did we need to take a breath or a breather from each other sometimes? Yes. But it was never long enough for us to forget about the other one. And even in our mad, we would call each other and be like, "Hey, stupid, I'm just calling to check on you. I don't really want to talk to you, but just just want to make sure you're still alive. I love you, bye." And so it was stuff like that. But yes, but outside of you guys, the four friends that I have been my friends basically since my childhood.
That's beautiful. My longest is 9 years.
That's
Yeah, because
good.
how old is Bubba? Because we met when I was in Germany, and my husband deployed when I was pregnant with Bubba, and I was
Um,
always laying up on her couch. So that's the longest friendship that I have. And that's you,
M-
princess.
My longest friendship, and something that I wanted to touch on that I've seen in the chat a couple of times and a couple of things that everybody has said. I think that a friend that I still consider my friend all day long, regardless, is my college roommate, and her name is Kate. We have literally been friends since 2009. I do not talk to Kate every day or every month. Sometimes I do not speak to her every year because she is a banquet server on Antarctic ships. So I don't always get an opportunity to talk to her or see her. But something that I wanted to touch on was I do not consider somebody no longer a friend just because we do not talk. I'm one of those kind of people that because of my love languages and because I understand humans, life sometimes happens. And
Mm-hmm.
beyond life happening, sometimes you bring other people into your life and you're able to maybe easier operate around those other people. Or sometimes it's like this friend understands this better, this friend understands this thing better. So I don't necessarily consider somebody no longer my friend just because I don't converse with them all the time, and I also do not demote them to associate. Just because our friendship may not still be the way it was previously. But also something I also something I think that helped me in all of my friendships, because that's literally the only friendship I have been able to maintain for this long. One of the things I think that helped me was being able to understand what my friends need, like what they actually need. You can't get up here right now, baby, okay? Ooh, your little face is dirty. Yes, your little hand is also. Bye. Bye, baby. Um, was being able to figure out what my friends need. And a lot of times, I think that sometimes that's what separates friends is no longer being able to serve what they need. If Jazz tells me I need quality time with you, and Jazz is actually, even though quality time is one of her love languages, she's not the friend that's gonna call you and say I need time with you. She's actually gonna do the exact opposite. She'll be like, "Oh, I guess well, you've been too busy for me, or you got whatever you got going on, or if I sit at the other edge of the couch, she'll be like, "Oh, so I stink? You don't want to be close to me?" That's how I know that she
The
needs the
drama.
drama. That's how I know that she
So
needs
much
quality time.
drama.
I can't.
Beauty makes the joke all the time that if I'm too nice to her, she feels like I'm not myself or our relationship is funky
She's being
or
fake.
okay, that's basically what she says, that I'm being fake to her. But I also know that when she says that, she wants me to be my normal, regular, all the time self, crazy, dramatic, wild. Shawnee is the kind of person who she gets really emotional. That's how I know when she's like, when she needs our attention or whatever. She'll be like, I guess it's because I just haven't been around. And before you can even say anything, she'll be like, I just really want to spend time with you guys tonight. I just really, and I am also, you can also blame me for this too because I'm the same. I just really need my sisters. I just really need my sisters.
They're
So
always crying, bro.
always crying, but
I'm
I think
talking about boo
you have to
hooing.
know what your
Listen,
friends need. I think that's a special love language is knowing what your friends need and just being able to give it to them.
yeah, like it is. It is. And it's just like even but I think that over time and me and Renee had this discussion when she was here recently where I said I think my did I say my love language? I think my love language or I think my love language changed. What did I say? Did I tell y'all about this? Okay, so I said I think my love language or something changed recently where it's like I don't I'm different than I was before. Like I'm more emotional. I think my love language changed in a way where it wasn't like that before. Like I was very my attachment style. That's what it was.
Ooh.
I said I think my attachment style has changed. And she was like, "You really do? You think your attachment she's I don't think that attachment styles can change." So y'all know where I went. My favorite place other
Chat
than Google.
GPT.
I asked ChatGPT.
Around
I'm
because that's
like,
our counselor.
it's my counselor. Listen,
That's
I love
her
I'm gonna tell y'all.
therapist.
I'm gonna tell y'all why I love ChatGPT because it asks you questions. You know, when you type something in Google, it's gonna give you a bunch of different sites, and you have to basically do the research on your own, right? When I type it into ChatGPT, it's gonna ask me prying questions, and we can go back and forth, and I can kind of understand what what's happening, you know? So I'm like, then my can your attachment style change? And my attachment style has significantly changed because I think I was very much an anxious, avoidant attachment style before, where I was no more of an avoidant attachment style is what my attachment style was. Now I'm kind of like a secure, anxious. Like I'm secure. Like I know that y'all are not gonna go anywhere, but I want to also be with you all the time, and I want to touch you, right? And I'm going to like be very emotional, and I'm going to cry because essentially, like you guys are my safe space. So I feel safe enough to be a version of myself that I was never I have never allowed myself to be. So I think that attachment styles kind of goes hand in hand with love languages in a lot of ways that maybe we
And I
don't think
am
about often.
I am definitely an anxious, don't leave me attachment style person. And
Golly.
mine definitely comes off at y'all. I'm dramatic and you know it. If
If
I
you don't love
start
me,
to,
just say that.
you
Just
don't
tell
love
me
me.
you
You
don't
don't
love
love me, just
Tell
me.
me you
say
love me
that.
without telling me you don't love me.
That's not what I
Okay.
said.
You
I start
hate
I'm
to
going
me.
to the
feel
kitchen.
I start to feel very panicked if okay, if I see Jazz and somebody laugh, but she ain't spoke to me and said good morning, I'd be like, so it's Shay? If if I call Beauty twice and she doesn't answer the first time, I'm already upset. But then the second time I call, she don't answer my phone call. No, I do not go to. Obviously, she's busy. Oh, obviously, she hate me. Getting a hold of Shawnee is like trying to contact the Pentagon. So I can't even worry about that for real. What I do know about Shawnee
She's worse
is
than
if
me, bro.
for real,
Oh
if I
God.
go into Shawnee's live and not comment in there and she doesn't address me in what I feel like is a timely manner, I'm like, Shay, there's a problem. So I'm always, even though I do feel secure in our friendship, I am very clingy. I am very protective. I am very mine.
You are.
I
She
am.
is
Okay.
very, very possessive.
Yeah,
Yes, she is.
more
I
Let
than
me
w-
tell you.
y'all will ever realize.
Yes. Let me tell y'all something that happened to me on the last time that we were together. And I thought something was gonna happen to me because it was like finding a blue unicorn. We was
What?
just listen.
The
We was
Pentagon
out
is wild,
sitting.
sister.
We
The
was out
Pentagon
sitting
is
on the
wild.
couch. Don't worry about me. We was out sitting on the couch, and of course, we were all sitting there like we were Siamese twins. But that's not the point.
Bye.
Honey,
And
they gonna snap.
You're not
I
supposed to
don't know what
tell.
we were. I forgot what we were discussing. But anyway, I was sitting. Me and who was it? I think me and Nasty was sitting in the middle, and Jazz and Shawnee was on the outside, but Shawnee was sitting beside me. And I turned my back a little bit, and Shawnee laid in the middle of my back, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "I must be dying," and nobody want to tell
Ah!
me.
Not and don't nobody want to tell me.
And it was funny
Because how we know
because
when you don't?
she stayed there. Like I thought she was just gonna lay on my back and then kind of move after like a few seconds. No, she stayed there for a good while, and I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, and then on the way back home, I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep because if we die in this car, I don't want to know we gonna die in the car. So,
Cut it
because
out.
that was
You're
weird as
wild. You're
shit.
wild, yo.
This lady's crazy.
Okay, tell me that if that had happened to y'all, y'all wouldn't have been worried. That Shawnee, not me, not Jazzy, not Tab, Shawnee laid in the middle of my back and she just stayed there.
I
She
don't
didn't
even
move.
remember this, but the thing is that
I
I
remember it because it scared the shit out of me.
Bye. Just get off my phone.
but you would not be the first person to say something like this. I think Tab also said like when I sleep, like I'm on her, like not on her, but like my legs will be on her, and like
On my
I
shoulders.
I genuinely don't realize it because, like y'all said, like we ain't really supposed to be talking about this, like really for real. But when
Also,
We
we
ain't
get
supposed to be
together,
talking about this.
no.
we can literally be like this on each other,
Legos.
Thanks. Legos.
And also,
connected together.
Shawnee little spooned me.
Little spoon to me. But
I'm talking about
I wanna
engulfed
And
the
I do
whole
it
body
again.
around me.
out of control. I want to go back to the other point too that we were talking about when we say when you don't see somebody for a long time and it's like I can go 2 months without seeing. Let me not go 2 months without seeing y'all because it's a problem. Anyway,
You
I
damn
could go
right.
2 months
That
without
made me
seeing
anxious
somebody.
right now, bro. That makes me anxious right now. They don't even talk about
That's why
it.
my stomach start hurting.
It's out there out of control.
But it's
Okay,
2 months. You making me
the
hot.
the point being
2 months.
when you have a friend or when you have a group of friends and y'all can go a long period of time without seeing each other and then you could connect right off like I was just with y'all yesterday. That is so amazing. And when I say my cutoff game is strong, it don't take a lot for me to cut somebody off because I can feel when vibes go off. like when the vibe is starting to switch, or when somebody's trying to switch up, and it's not necessarily what Shawnee was talking about, like the attachment style is different. But if you can tell when you start to part ways, and y'all are growing in different directions. I came into a friendship, and it was three of us. When we were in Germany, we went to Spain, we were traveling or whatever, and something happened when I got back to the statesides with one person, and the other person felt the need to take up for the other person. I was like, well, you ain't got to worry about me. I'm out of here. Like, with especially when I felt like what I was doing wasn't wrong, and then there was no conversation. So when I say my cutoff game is strong, if there's no dialogue, if I see that we're starting to grow in opposite directions, and there's no more coming back to the middle ground, I have no problems ending a friendship. But also, when I went to college, I mean, when I left high school, I moved to states and went to college, so I lost connection with those people. After that, I went to Germany, and then that's where I met my longest friendship. So I never had like a time period where I grew up in this town, I know everybody, and we've been friends since
We've been
back in the day.
thugging.
We've been
Yeah,
thugging
me
it out
either. Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
Like, so when I say my cutoff game is strong, that's what I mean by that.
Mm.
God dog. I probably wanna just talk about like handling problems and conflict because I know we talk about like the good times and that's easy, right? Being happy with each other is easy. But what happens when you're not happy with each other? I am very empathic, so it is very easy for me to realize when there is a disconnect between me and my friends, me and my sisters. Um, and with these three, or even with my other friends included, I have to handle each one of them different. I can't handle anybody the same. But it takes being a good friend to notice that you can't handle everybody the same. For example, me and Nasty can have a brawl, drag out argument. I'm talking about go toe to toe. But at the end of the conversation, she's going to love me. I'm going to love her. Um, as a matter of fact, we've already done that. With Shawnee, I tend to be a little bit more gentler with her. Just because, not that I think that she can't handle it, but Shawnee, as much as she wants to be a tough guy, Shawnee is a soft soul.
Soft soul.
And that because that's the best way I can put it. Because I don't ever want to say anything that would trick her or make her think that I feel any other way about her than what I do just because we're not happy with each other. With Jazz, I'm gonna give her a few seconds because she gotta go and figure out what she gonna say, and then we can talk.
Sassy friendship plan.
What?
Jazzy, pop up Kendra's comment.
Sometimes you just gotta let her breathe for a little bit. Um, you know. And also I I feel like we now have the comfortability with each other that we can pull each other aside and be like, hey, cut your shit out because that right there is stupid. Or not say stupid, but just cut your shit out
Yeah,
because
and
you need to
I
reel that on back in.
hello. I think it's a respect level there also. There's a we know as adults, we're all adults. So
All
there's
Mhm.
adults.
respect. Okay. There's boundaries
Mhm.
that have been set just through listening, through conversation, and when you're actively trying to build on that friendship, and you've had conversations with said people, you start to learn what tweaks them, what might irritate, what might rub somebody the wrong way. And then when you're genuine enough to know, like, hey, like I'm saying this because I say two things. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, or I say get the meat and spit out the bones, because I'm never trying to be offensive. I'm never trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm genuinely either trying to express myself and get you to understand, or I'm genuinely trying to understand where you're coming from. But I think a big part of conflict has to do with knowing boundaries and knowing that not only are we all adults, but respect is due. Like, and when I do somebody wrong and they let me know, like, hey, that's not what I meant. What you said was da 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 da. I can come and apologize
Mm-hmm.
because I respect my friends and I respect my sisters.
I think another really big thing for me with conflict and my friends, when we say the word friend, sometimes it makes my stomach hurt because to me, y'all are my sisters. But also, even in sisterhood, there has to be friendship. Um,
Hmm.
but for me, I say this all the time. I'm not willing to lose any of y'all. Y'all know I said that all the time. I'm not willing to lose any of you. There is not one thing that could occur that if it occurred that I don't feel like we could get through, even if it took time, even if it took multiple conversations, even if it took, maybe I need to see it from a different perspective. I think a lot of times, sometimes that's part of the problem is that a lot of people are not willing to see things from somebody else's perspective. And
Hmm.
I don't need to be right all the time. Like, I don't have to be right. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay. Um, and it's also okay for you to have done something wrong. I know sometimes in friendships, people be like, if my friend do this, I'm out of there. Meanwhile, I got the same busted ass baby daddy. You wild. I am not willing to lose my friends behind anything. So if we do go through something, I'm more than willing to see it from your point of view because I know that your intentions are pure with me. I think sometimes we don't give our friends enough credit or honestly enough room to mess up because we're human. Like sometimes you're gonna forget stuff. Sometimes you're not gonna be where you should be. Sometimes you're not gonna be on time. Sometimes just certain things is gonna happen. But the love that you have for each other, I think it can either keep you together. Well, it ain't even no either, because for me it's keeping us together. I'm just gonna have to come step to you. Hey, don't do that shit again. But also, I'm not willing to lose you. So for real, don't do that shit again. Like,
Like
for real, don't do
seriously,
that shit.
like
No,
seriously.
seriously, don't do that shit again because
But that's
I'm not
also,
willing to lose you.
but that's also having grace. Like, y'all know me and the big God go hand in hand. Okay, but that's also having grace because I know I'm
Hmm.
gonna drop the ball. I'm
Facts.
expected to drop the ball. So when you drop the ball, am I gonna shun you? Because when I
Yeah.
drop the ball, I don't shun me. God damn it, don't ignore
Give me
me.
some
Don't shun me.
grace.
Give me some grace, please.
But that's because your character should speak for itself. When you are a good friend, a good sister, your character is gonna step in the room before you step. So if you're not able sometimes to show up, if you're not on your A game, if you drop the ball, and my feelings gonna be hurt, yeah. But is it gonna be enough for me to cut you off? Never, because you've already proven to me. And I will say this: all three of my sisters, they never have to worry about a place with me because they have stepped behind me, beside me, in front of me, time and time and time again. So if something does occur where they not operating at full speed or they're not at their best, rather than condemn them, honestly, I'm gonna be like, what can I do for you? What can I do to help you? Because I see you not being your best self right now. I see that you struggling a little bit. So I think along with grace, sometimes you need to be willing to also put your hand out. Let
Yeah.
me pull you up because you're struggling.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So like how do y'all move forward when when there's tension in like our
Before we go
relationship?
there, if y'all are watching, I want y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay. Then after you do that, okay, I want you to go and follow us on all social media platforms. Okay. Anything that you could think to follow us on, go follow C4, Bookexplosive Girlies, Audrey Shanice, Arthur Nasty, B Beauty underscore Rice, and the Book Talk Rookie. And don't forget B Beauty. She definitely just dropped a book today. Okay. So big ups to that to book two. Okay. Big ups to book two, y'all. I hope that y'all are enjoying this this our first episode where we're talking about friendship and all that good stuff, we are going to jump into a segment because y'all know we were brought together by books, but we stayed together for everything that we stayed together for. Okay, so
Hey,
if you are
KJ.
in the comments, hey KJ, if you are in the comments, I want y'all to drop some of your favorite books that have some like book besties, like
This
ride or
book.
die friendships. Okay, in the chat, these are some of our recs. Definitely take a picture of this. Y'all know I'm a ride for M Monique, and we're just gonna talk about some of these books for a little bit because once again, books. Okay, my child, blessed Savior. Okay, and
Bless
great
it.
TT with the TT with the baby. Anyway, if you got some book race, y'all can go ahead and talk about your book race. I loved you're gonna feel my love by Sammy Rich. That book is hilarious, and y'all know I love me a good boop scene. And spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Um, there was an engagement happening in that book, and it's like over there that blue book. Y'all get it. There was an engagement happening. It was on the wedding day. Okay, he walks in with somebody she thought was her friend. Okay, and he like, baby, we about to roll out. So her friend, the bridesmaid, was like, I know you lying, and the boob scene popped off, and it was everything I needed it to be because I need friends like that. Because I know you on my wedding day, you got to be mad, you got me messed up.
Mm-mm.
I want to also say that, okay, looking at some of these books is kind of funny to me because also based on our friendship, I know who recommended what. But I know exactly who recommended what. Um, but I was gonna also say, um, oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
Sometimes, thank you also for this. Sometimes, sometimes when we read books, right, there's either this like super unrealistic view of friendships, or there's like a super realistic view, or sometimes I feel like people are really envious, right? Like with Brothers Unholy, it made me feel so sad that there were so many people who were expecting Zuri to turn against Amunet. I was like, why, God? I, I, it hurt my feelings so bad because I do not do friendship betrayal. I think that's a book trope that goes right up there with office romance for me. And if y'all know me,
Oh
y'all
my
know I can't
gosh.
stand office romance. I hate a workplace romance. I can't stand that. So, but also friendship betrayals, they also go up really high in that tank. I can't handle it.
My book I suggested was Before I Let Go. I love that entire series. Y'all know I am a contemporary girly through and through. I love me and Nancy to be so different. We are so alike in a lot of ways. But she hates an office romance. I love an office romance. She hates contemporary romance. I love contemporary romance. So but before I let go, it really did have a great uh demonstration of what friendship looks like and how different friends add value to your relationship, and how the dynamics can be different. And when I read this book, I literally only still had one friend. So to see Yasmin have two friends, and they both were giving her perspectives, and they were so drastically different. I was like, I wish that I hope that one day I'll be able to have something like that. And so, I have been blessed enough to have not only my sisters here, but the book explosive girlies in the community are also my sisters, I feel like, in a lot of ways. And the dynamics that I have with y'all, I feel like I could come to some of y'all and, talk to you about certain things. And, I really enjoy it. But I'm a contemporary girl. I don't even know about All the boo-bop, that's great, that's fun. But I guess it just comes from come from live experience too, you know? You like to see yourself
Eh,
reflected in books.
all right, hold on. I'm gonna go to the comments. So we got When a Wolf Cries by Mel Doll and The Hood Flower Girl by M. Monique. Um, let's see. One of the books that I chose on here is I'm Not Dying With You Tonight. It is a by author book, but it's so good. It's about two girls who actually started off hating each other guts. Just because they were two girls in high school and you know, one was from a popular rich family, the other one was from what you might consider the ghetto or whatever. But one night a tragedy happens that bring them both together and they end up being the best of friends after that. But um, mm, I really love that book. So I think this it's worth a read. Um, it just shows like how people who are very unlikely can still become friends. Because honestly, I'm gonna say that in another world, in another life, I don't think maybe I would have been friends with any of these girls, but now they are some of
Hmm.
my best friends.
Try
And
to
that's
leave and I'll find you.
Oh,
Bye.
Tony. Nobody said
okay,
anything
Liam.
I
about
can't.
nobody said anything about leaving, beloved. Calm down. What the
Touch me
Beloved.
on
hell?
my inside parts. That's
Out of
all the
control.
song in that movie.
Y'all
But
know
yeah.
that books are a way of escapism. So one thing that I truly, truly enjoy about reading is that they paint us in the right light. So many times we get the narrative of we can't be friends with other females, or um they always catty, or they always gossiping, and that's not the case. So what is y'all take on how literary paints black women, both because there's books that friends that with people that you thought was your friends and they done went after your man and stuff, and then there's books that we absolutely love because the friendship is bomb. What are y'all thoughts on that?
It makes my
Mm,
soul hurt. And I do mean my soul hurt. When I read books with, but okay, well, let me rewind. Shawnee said something in the when you were gone, but she said that she likes to read books that are relatable to her. I think we all love a good relatable read, and unfortunately, I think authors especially paint pictures of what they know. A
Hmm.
lot of women, especially black women, we are bruised where it comes to friendships, because also it goes even farther back than just like what people have done to us. We learn friendship, relationships, things like that at home. When you don't see your parents having friendships, you don't value friendship. Because what's the
Hmm.
first thing a black mama tell you? I'm not your friend. And these other little girls ain't your friend either. They don't care about you for real. So you grow up kind of with that stigma that it's like, I'm not gonna have any friends. I'm gonna have people that I meet. I'm gonna have people who are gonna be around me. But these are people who are just gonna come and go. So unfortunately, authors take that experience with them and they build books based on what they know, which is unfortunately a lot of heartbreak, or they've never experienced what it's like to be in a room with positive black women. Whereas on the opposite end for me, I say all the time, I'm a hopeful romantic. I'm a hopeful romantic even in my friendships too. I refuse to believe that just because of the things that happened before, or friendships that ended before, that every friendship is going to be that way. And a part of escapism for me, I write to escape. So I'll never have my main characters doing things like that, because also in a relatable way, that's not my life either. I have friends, I have sisters who love me, who are positive people. So I want to mirror that, and I want to show other black women that they can have that too. I got it. Come here, baby.
I'm
I
trying
just
to.
rem-
Oh, yeah. Go
my
ahead. My
bad.
bad. Like you good.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I remember one of my good friends when we first met. She thought I was very weird, and it made me sad a little bit because we were sitting down having a conversation, and it was just like, "What did you think of me when we first met?" Um, and I told her what I thought of her, and when she got to me, she said, "I thought you were really weird." She said, and honestly, I was kind of uncomfortable around you a little bit. And I was like, I don't understand. And this just goes back to the way that we are depicted as black women trying to be friends with other black women. She was like, I never in my life met a black woman that befriended me, that just wanted to befriend me for no
Mm,
reason. Like, she was like, you were exceptionally nice, you were exceptionally kind. And I kept waiting for the day when you would ask me for something in return. I kept waiting for the day when you would let me
wow.
down. I kept waiting for the day when you would disappoint me. And she was like, it's been 7 years now, and that day still hasn't come.
Yeah.
And one day I had to realize that that was just not you. And she was like, you
Mm,
are. She was like, you are as rare as a unicorn because all the time when people try to befriend you, it's for an
mm,
alternative motive. And I was like, I would never. I'm just your friend because I want to be your friend. That's it.
Hmm.
I don't
wow.
have any other reason why I want to be your friend. And she was like, yeah, I realized that um now. She was like, but when I first met you, I just kept waiting for the day when you would turn and be something that I thought you were the whole time. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
that made me sad. It broke my
Wow.
heart, actually. Yeah.
I would say that this was I other than my 20-year friendship, this is the only relationship that I feel like I'm not waiting for the other shoe to drop on. You know what
Mm,
I mean? I'm not sitting here thinking to myself like one day I'm going to wake up and y'all are going to ghost me and you're going to exile me and you're not going to want to ever talk to me again.
Not exile.
Um
Dramatic.
exile.
That's a
Golly.
big
um
old word.
and I don't feel like that. And for me to say that is big because I've been married for 16 years. And so if you put that in perspective, I'm saying relationships in general. I have always been in a space where I'm waiting on the other shoe to drop, you know? So when y'all see me crying with online and stuff is because honestly, this has become my safe space. My sisters have become my safe space. Um, when I'm outside of this safe space, when I'm outside of their presence, I very much still kind of have to remind myself that the other people who've been in my life only know the avoidant attachment style Shauna, you know? They don't know crybaby Shawnee. They don't know. They don't know anxious, secure attachment style Shawnee. They don't know that person. So I have to hold it in sometimes. But I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, I can't do that anymore because I want to be 100% authentically myself at all times. I don't want to continue to have to placate and for other people because why am I doing that? I'm getting too old for that. You know, why am I trying to make you happy while I'm simultaneously making myself unhappy? So yeah, like I appreciate having friendships where it's like you're not ever waiting for, something negative to happen at all times.
I would also, I'm sorry, y'all know I'm multitasking. Uh, I would also say, I also do not want to be friends with anyone that there are ulterior motives, or I also don't want to be in a situation with people where I feel like I have to worry. I made a joke earlier and I said I was going to bring it up, and I get to insert it here. Earlier, one of Jazz's twins came upstairs and he was telling us about this young lady who he likes, she likes him. And the reason he found this out is because her friend was like, hey, I'm coming to shoot my shot for my friend. I'm coming to shoot my friend's shot for her. And I said, see, I like that because she felt comfortable and safe enough that her friend could go up to him and say, hey, my friend like you. She trying to slide. Because if I can't trust you around my man, you don't need to be around my man. If I can't trust you, you don't need to be around me. If
Yeah,
I can't
that part.
trust you with someone that I feel is sacred to me, off limits, I don't need you around me. And because I'm such a family person, there is no lifetime where I would want to be with someone who I couldn't trust them around my family or where I couldn't trust my family around them. I made a joke a couple weeks ago when Shawnee and Beauty had came to pick me up from King Hills. And they didn't have a shirt on. But it did not bother me because for what? These are my
And it
sisters.
wasn't even anything that I even like thought about. Like it
And that's
wasn't
because and that's
it
and I
wasn't
feel
anything like I didn't think about it. I didn't say like, "Oh shoot, he has no shirt on. I'm not gonna hug him." Yes, I'm still hugging you, bro. Like we're skin to skin now. Okay,
because
that's
there's
what we're
because
doing.
there's no discomfort there and it shouldn't be
Yeah,
when you're close to someone and you're actually friends and you're family with them. It's like there should never be a thought in your mind that
yeah.
there's something uncomfortable happening.
Mm.
Even if my sisters were raging lesbians, I'm not concerned about leaving them.
Raging lesbians is wild.
Raging.
I'm not concerned
Raging
about
I don't know
is
what that
well.
looks
It's
like.
yeah,
wild.
like I'm
That's a
not worried
little.
about leaving them around Key. I'm not
Just
concerned
enjoy
about
the
leaving them. Just I love them, right? I'm not concerned about leaving them around Kel because I know that I can trust them the same way. I hope, obviously, that they know that clearly they can trust me because I'm at Jasmine house so much. I am family. Like, I am family over here. So like, and I've been to Shawnee's house so much, like it's a thing. So
Yeah.
I think
It
it's
is.
important to have friendships that are built on trust off the rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shawnee, you was talking about before we went to that segment, you was asking something about friendship and conflict.
I just said like, how do we move like when we have those places of tension, how do we move through those places of tension to like get to a resolution, you know? Because y'all know I am very much a resolution driven person. We've had a situation in the recent past that I wanted a resolution to, and everybody else was like, I could not give a flying and we literally had like an argument. Jazz like
We
turned the
did,
camera
bro.
off.
Because I was like, all right, yo, like,
And she was like, "No,
because I
I
was
don't
like,
want to
for
talk about
what? Like,
this."
why?
Beauty was like, "I don't care." Tab was like, "I'll write the email," and I'm like, "I just listen. I just
Like,
want a resolution." So I'm excuse me. I'm very resolution driven. And it's just because I don't like to live in the space of not knowing, right? I don't like to live in that space of that tension where it's like you can cut it with a knife. I don't like that. So, like, how do we move through those kinds of things? So for me, it is very much I want to talk it out. I want to know what your perspective is. I want to know why you feel the way you feel. And I'm not going to invalidate what you're saying, but I need to understand what you're saying so that we can move forward. And if that means that we're not moving forward, that we're moving forward apart, that's fine. If we're moving forward together, that's also fine. But how do you guys handle that?
I guess since you called me out, I will take the first go at this. Okay. With I know Jasmine. I know the way that my brain operates. I know how stress activates sickness in my body. I know with everything that I have going on, I have to prioritize what I seriously worry about. Y'all hear Nancy say I can't worry about it all the time. So with her saying that, I have to really prioritize what's important and what's not because I know how I can spiral out. So, and then my sisters tell, they say all the time, Jazz is so nonchalant. Like, even she here, she here, she not, she not. Like, and it's so true because I know how my intrusive thoughts can captivate me and put me in a chokehold that is not necessary. So when I have to wipe my hands with something, I have to wholeheartedly wipe my hands with something. So when Shawnee wanted to reach to do what she wanted to do, I was like, "Why, bro? Like you just picking at a scab, man. Like just leave it alone." And once again, I think because we're adults, when we come across that, we have to agree to disagree. Like I had to, my sister had to do that. So after we both voiced why we either agreed with it or didn't agree with it, we had to wipe our hands with it, understanding like, hey, we you said your piece, I said my piece. We gonna move forward. We gonna move forward as is, and we still locked in. Like so,
Yes.
we after we done
Yeah.
do whatever this is. After you do that, after I do that, then we move on. I think that's once again respect, boundaries, and knowing like, hey, we're adults. We can agree to disagree. We can have a healthy debate. No one is over here cussing nobody out. No one is over here taking low blows. When you start to do that, then you start to ask yourself like, were you really for me, or were you
Mhm.
always thinking that way about me? Like if we go through something and you easily go for the jugular, were you really for me? There's no way that you could say that you had love for me. And I tell people this all the time. I love everybody. Do I like everybody? No, but I love everybody because that's nothing for me to. It's nothing for me to give love and kindness as a genuine person. But when you start to go for the jugular, if you start to attack me or that I have a hard time coming back from that because now I'm questioning, how do you really look at me? Are you really for me? Are we really on sitting at the same table? Are we really riding for the same purpose? So that's my take on it.
And I think that I could have handled that differently. Like in a different friend dynamic than we have, or it's weird saying friends, but in a different dynamic than we have, maybe I would have went behind your back and just said, "Hey, I'm going to go and contact this and I'm going to go get the resolution that I feel like I need, even though it was something that affected all of us." Right? And then what would have happened then when you found out? Like, why didn't you tell us that you did this? And so now you feel betrayed because I didn't feel safe enough to come to you and talk to you about it. So I would rather us have a little bit of tension for a little for a spell than for it to cause a rift and cause a chasm in the relationship.
Yeah.
And I think every friendship has roles. And I think if you respect those roles, not just the boundaries, but if you respect certain roles in a friendship, like that can help us move on. For example, I am very much, we not staying here. We not doing that. Like, okay, you mad, bet. I feel that. I feel that you mad. I feel that you upset. I feel that your feelings are hurt. I feel that. But we're not staying here. A lot of times I feel like my role specifically is not so much just to help us move forward, but like let's get to the grit of it and then let's go. Because we've been here dancing around. You said what you said, I said what I said, you said what you said, you said what you said. Okay, we said it. Now that it's been said, let's move on. Because whatever was said wasn't nothing that was going to end the relationship, the friendship. Like, let's just move on from it, but not without a resolution. We yesterday had a little tension in our group chat. Just a little bit of tension. Shawnee, I know you think I was mad at you. I was not. I know you think I was mad at you. I was not. I am
The
very
thing,
much solution based. And when we do not have time to get into our emotions, I'm like, let me grab you real quick. Let me grab you for a second. But even in grabbing you, and I say this in all my friendships, my relationships, if I can't speak to you in love, I'm not going to speak. Because I'll never speak to you in a way that demeans you, that makes you feel less than. I'll never speak to you in a way that'll make you feel like I don't care for you. So even if I do gotta say something tough or something raggedy or something like that, no, it's because we don't have time to linger here. I want to still support you and I still want to see you and I still want to understand what you're going through. But I also feel like me and Shawnee is one of them type of people. If something's wrong, we usually just handle it on the side. Like we'll be like, this happened, and I might text her and be like, "You cool?" Or everything
Yeah.
straight. You need
But I
somebody to
think
talk to.
I think it comes with emotional intelligence too. You have to be able to I have to be able to understand what my emotions are, right? Because there's so many emotions between happy, sad, mad, right? And so I wasn't mad. I knew you weren't mad at me. I was just you knew I was aggravated. I told you why I was aggravated, and you were like, "Look, I know that you're feeling this way, but I think if I lacked emotional intelligence, I would have handled it differently. I think both of us would have handled it differently, you know? Where it's like when you said what you said, I could have been like, "Oh hell no." Oh hell no. And then just haul off. But I know my sister. I know what she's saying. I know how I was feeling. I know what I was going through. So I handled it the way I handled it, which is just, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna go lay my ass down and I'll see y'all tomorrow. And that's on that. And that's
And
it.
now you see we're here. That be my thing, but that's how I know these are my friends because you know that I'm letting you know, like, yo, you bugging. Like, this is
You know what that you know what that remind me of? Y'all know when kids get into tit for tats and you be like, well, you go to your corner, you go to your corner, and then 3 minutes later they best friends again. I'm like, yo, like don't even involve me then. I don't even go
why
do
you
what you
came
gotta
to
do.
get me? Why you came to get me? But I feel like a lot of times, but again, I know that y'all are mine and I am yours because I have had friendships where maybe somebody would have seen me say something like that and they'd be like, oh, okay, bitch, bet.
Hmm.
Versus, no, this is Tabby. This is someone who loves me, who cares about me, somebody who I'm never seeking to hurt you. That's wild. That's crazy to me. So it's like, you gotta know, I wanna know my friends intimately. I wanna know them intimately. I wanna know how you respond to conflict and just the same way I know how you respond to something happy, which also makes me think of something special. Comments. There's something that you guys don't know because I don't know. I don't think you got to see the video yet. Maybe you did. I don't know. Oh, actually, we just released the video. So we did a buddy read video where. Oh no, Leslie. But also, hey Leslie. It's probably because Jay's in her library and I'm out here.
Yeah, and I think you need to fix your cord on your mic.
No,
Oh, what I need to do to
it's
it?
because she has her headset in that has the mic and her mic.
And I could have just used this whole time.
Oh,
That's what it is.
I gotta
that'll
worry
do it.
about this. That'll do it every time. Listen.
Bye. Go ahead with your video.
It's crazy. Okay, so in the video we do who's most likely to do this in Buddy Read. Okay, so I want to do the same thing with this topic. Who's most likely? So I'm gonna go. Then Beauty can go. Shawnee can go. Then Jazzy can go.
Is the
Who's
chat
most
guessing?
likely?
Is the chat guessing?
Oh, yeah. I definitely want the chat to participate. So we'll just throw out some random scenarios. Who's most likely to respond like this to conflict? And or maybe not even just conflict, but who's most likely to respond this way? And comments because you guys are with us all the time. I would love to see what your answers are. And then at the end, we can definitely check it, right? I'm gonna start by saying who's most likely to shut down in an argument. Who's most likely to shut down?
I forgot we weren't guessing.
Oh,
Comments.
bro.
This is definitely for y'all. Who do you think is most likely to shut down in a conflict?
Yeah, so
This should be
alright,
good.
this should be good.
This should be good.
Next
Y'all are
question.
hilarious.
Next question.
Beauty?
Beauty. Wow.
Not two for
Wow.
you, three for
That's
you, four for you. That's wild.
Beauty
like
shut
she said in what
down.
context, meaning that they just stopped talking, like they just over the whole situation.
Hmm. I can understand why y'all think that.
Four for me, that's crazy. All right.
Who was that?
It's actually Jasmine.
It's
You
for
didn't
that.
you didn't have to do that. You
I'm
didn't have to add
talking
all of that
about.
infinite in
I'm
it.
talking about when your phone get to 1% and then go to zero immediately.
Hey man.
Amen.
This question is rather easy, obviously. But out of the four of us, when there is a conflict, who is
Ooh.
most likely to try to fix it?
Who y'all think?
Most likely
Out
to
of
try to fix it.
out of the
What's
four of
killing
us,
me is
who
all
is most likely
votes
to
for
fix it?
beauty.
All the
I
votes
And
for
that's
beauty.
know.
crazy as
You're
hell.
shutting down. You're
That's
shutting down.
Shut down.
wild.
I'm
Mm-mm.
finna shut down on
That's
this live right now.
Oh no, you're not.
I'm gonna
Finna
shut
shut
down
down
on
right
this
now.
live right now. Stop.
Oh my
Finna hit a
goodness.
jazz on y'all.
Bye. I can't with you.
Nasty.
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 Three for nasty.
Ding ding ding
Okay.
ding ding.
Shorty.
Shawty.
I do feel like they go hand in
You know that's
hand,
crazy.
but
That's crazy
nasty
as
is
hell that
definitely
nobody ain't
defensive.
tried to put my name up there.
Oh,
Girl to do
Mm.
what?
That's why.
to fix what?
Girl to fix what I can count on
Eh,
you to do.
To
and
try
leave
and fix it.
next.
Boy.
I ain't even gonna punch because I don't feel like getting into
Eh,
it.
It would
Cause wait,
definitely be it definitely would be nasty first, me second, because and nasty probably second and me probably third. Because very much I
Not me first and second.
because I don't know. I feel like in a lot of ways I this sounds weird, but I feel like I stay in my place, right? Because I know that Nasty knows how to talk to Jazzy that I in a way that I don't know how to talk to Jazzy. I know that Nasty knows how to talk to me in a way that nobody else, maybe Beauty, knows how to talk to me. Um, so I think that she is so in tune and she has made it her business, y'all, to know us inside and out intimately, like she said. So she's able to communicate with everybody individually and as a group. So I am definitely third in line when it comes to the two places. Um, so it's like if she's incapacitated, I would be like, okay. But
Let
then I
me.
still believe that Jazz would be like, "Ooh, this shut up" will be right on the tip of her tongue for me.
let's close it, bruh. I ain't never met
Shut
before
it up,
Shawnee say
Bernie.
this.
Shut up.
I ain't never met people so fast to respond. I'm like, yo, just for what? Just shh, shh, shh. Golly.
Um, let me see.
It was
What was I
definitely though,
saying?
y'all.
It was definitely
Definitely,
nasty.
y'all.
It was definitely
Who?
nasty.
Yeah, it definitely would be nasty. Um, I don't even know what to say because I'm just like, I want to say who will be the first to get emotional, but I know y'all all are gonna say me because y'all are equating emotion to crying, right? But we'll just say it anyway. Who is the one most likely to get emotional in the friendship?
If I could look down any further.
I I really have a devil's advocate, and I'm gonna wait until the chat answers.
Actually, no, I think I'm changing my answer. Yeah.
Who's
Who
most
y'all
likely to
think?
get emotional?
Not definitely you, child. Not popping it up on the screen.
Wow.
Oh,
Juju on my,
damn.
Yeah, I must say I popped them
damn,
all up on the screen. Ooh, I missed
or
one.
maybe nasty.
I was gonna actually say I think that we equate emotion to tears. But
Yeah.
I will honestly say to me personally, it takes more emotion to disconnect than it does to sometimes cry. So my answer
Mm.
would honestly be Beauty or Jazzy because Jazzy gets so emotional to the point again, shut the fuck down.
But
Beauty
that's a
gets
disconnect. Emotions is about feelings.
No, you disconnect physically. You don't disconnect emotionally because then you go into your turtle shell and overanalyze absolutely everything that occurred until you come out with an answer that's satisfactory. And I say beauty also, and again, because emotion is not just crying.
Mm-hmm.
Emotion is emotion. I say beauty because beauty is not likely to shut down. She's likely to detach. And in that sense, it takes great emotion, like a great emotional upset to detach. Now, as far as crying go, me and Shawnee got that in the bag.
Yeah.
Cause one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna scream my soul.
I, s- I said nasty. I think nasty is the most
Oh,
emotional out of all of
I'm
us.
emotional as hell.
And I say that because she cares so much for us. She is the no, not all of us.
Yes,
They
Nessa.
tripping, bro.
Yes.
Um
Yes.
no, but for real though, like I think Nasty cares. She cares so much about us and our well-being. And I feel like it takes so much emotion to do that. Yeah, like we all check on each other, we all love each other. But it's always her who cares the most about us all as a group. So I think it's her,
I
not
don't
just
know
them
why, but
being
that made
sad
me
or
feel
whatever.
like I was finna cry.
oh,
Exactly. Exactly. That's
See?
proving my point.
oh my gosh.
So it's not
So
always me, y'all. It's not always me. I do cry a
Shawnee's
lot.
just a crybaby.
I am
she
very much a
is.
crybaby. It
She's just a
doesn't take
crybaby.
much. If I see Jazzy's face and I miss her, like y'all have seen me. Literally, there was a day on live where I was like, I haven't seen Jazz, and I don't know who was there. It was somebody like Royal was there or NASA. I don't remember who was there, and they were like, "You just saw her last night," and I said, "It wasn't enough." And I
Oh
said,
my
"I
goodness.
feel like I'm gonna cry."
This is the same person who cried before even coming out of her room, bro. Like her eyes was already watering. When I went to her house for her birthday, she was like, "Beauty better not be outside. If she's outside, I'm gonna cry." How
Bum,
do you
bum,
announce that you're going to cry?
Out
I'm
of
gonna
control.
cry
Now,
because I
like
can feel
she
it.
be
I can feel it right here, right here. When I'm about to cry, I can feel it right in my nose, and I'm like, "Oh, the tears they about to come out.
out of
They about
control.
to come out."
All right, since mine is the last person, y'all equate shutting down to
oh,
her,
cousin.
but the difference
Okay.
is who is the
Yeah,
one to
I
get
got you.
quiet? The one to get quiet. It's not a shutdown. It's literally
Hmm.
mute, straight mute, just observing.
What y'all think, chat?
I'd be like, yo, like, is she? Is there any emotion? Anything? No, nothing. Just silence. Okay. All right.
Just
Okay.
blank.
Just silence. Blank. Just
Just
nothing.
Royal said
That's
yes.
I'm talking about straight line.
nah, Roy. I shut down. It's,
Now my baby going down.
Yo, why am I so popular tonight? What's happening? I'm gonna shut down. I'm
Beauty and
emotional.
jazz, beauty, jazz.
What's happening?
Hey, 20.
Hi, Tashi.
Hey,
Hey,
Tasha.
Tachi.
So far,
Shut up.
it's a tie between me and Jazz. That's crazy. It's just
Like,
that's wild as hell to me. How I'm so popular tonight.
out of control.
I'm
All
Hey,
right,
sick of
y'all.
this
We
would be
go.
the one time it was right.
Hello. Okay.
This-
Can I go get silent? Okay.
And if she
Y'all.
start talking
So,
about poisoning somebody,
bro, because at first, right, we out here with people, right? However, my first one was gonna be who quit to pull that blicky out. Uh,
I swear to
who,
God, I was gonna say who the first to crash out. I was just about to say, I promise, but I tried to go away from that. But I swear to God, I was gonna say, who y'all thinking in C4 for real is the crash out? Like the real crash out. Who most likely to crash out? Come
I know
on,
you lying.
same. We got the same. We got the same thing.
No, my release day ain't got nothing to do with it, Kendra. Y'all just like
out
picking
of
on me.
control.
If y'all don't love me, just say it. It's okay.
Out of control.
Damn, not
Is
me.
that
I know
is
you
that
didn't
new
say
release
damn, not
book?
you.
I did. Damn, not me.
Ooh.
Damn, not me.
wow.
NASA, please go away.
I believe she lived in a crash out state at a point. Like, I don't know
Who?
what you're talking about.
That
Who?
lived in a crash out state? Not you.
Huh?
Will you crash out? Most definitely. But someone once upon a time lived in a crash out state, and it don't. You know how the edge is right there. Like they be standing on the edge, like I'm trying to stay on this land. However, if you blow too hard,
All the
Yeah,
feathers gonna knock it over.
I'm gonna tell
You
y'all
heard
something.
me.
Nasty wanted to beat me so bad because one night when she was at the house, we heard something outside, and I put my gun up because we heard something outside, and she
That's
was
not
standing
why I
behind me like,
wanted to do that to you. What my thing was, bro, you just had surgery. Go lay down.
for
Cause
real. Because what is you protecting?
whoever gonna come in here, bro, don't get me wrong. Like I'm ready to go hand to hand combat with their asses. But I'm also gonna take the blicky and get it done. So like you ain't even have to get out the bed. But that's why I said I also feel very safe with my sisters because that's, I say this all the time. They offer different levels of protection. Jasmine got the blood of Christ all over this house. I don't have one thing to fear up in this house, and that's a fact. I
and
am
do
safe,
NASA.
my food safe, my heart safe, everything safe up in here. With Beauty, she got the pew pew. if I don't get you, she definitely going to take you down.
Got several
Shawnee
of them.
is quite literally the largest human being on the planet. And when I say that, I mean in height.
Yeah, I'm
If
pretty big.
she always says this all the time, her intimidation tactic, I believe it works because she's enormous. So, but the game, of course, is that if anybody steps to one of my sisters,
And the thing about it, y'all, I know y'all have not seen her in real life. She is small.
She's so small.
She
She
is
is so
small.
little.
And
She
her
really.
legs are
the
so.
legs are so little. I don't know how she be doing so much, but listen, I will let me tell you something. It's one thing for sure, two things for certain. I'm not gonna try it. I'm not gonna try to figure out like if she can or she can't because
And she hit hard.
I just believe that she can.
Stop saying that.
You
Like
do.
I've just
She
hit you.
she did one of these like you know how you do this and you like, all right. She did it
Hey.
one day and I promise you the upstairs shook. I was like, now wait a minute now. Now whoa.
Stop.
I felt the walls tremble. I said, oh,
Yeah,
probably don't want to get hit by her.
just cause something is small don't mean it ain't powerful. Cause her hands do hurt. Cause she slapped me on the thigh one time, and I was like, "Hey, hit me like that again, bro, and I'm gonna rock your neck."
That was one of them double back.
So
Boy,
wait a
it
minute.
was a
Oh, I
reflex
forgot.
Come on,
because
she's
look,
small and mighty.
The
she
Lord knew to just fluff her up a little bit. Don't make her big. Don't make her
don't put it this
tall.
way.
You gotta
Mm-mm.
put her in a small
Out of
package.
control.
Listen, she slapped my thigh that day, but I was like, "Hey, bro, it was a reflex. If you hit
That
me like
hurt.
that one more time,
That hurt, man.
That hurt.
All right, y'all. So, what has strengthened our bond, being that we have I guess, a long distance friendship?
I
Like,
don't
what
like that word.
strengthens a
I don't
long
like that
distance
word. It
bond?
made me uncomfortable. I
I
don't
don't
know
think I
why.
probably I don't think I probably should say my answer because
Oh
but I'm
Lord.
gonna say it but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Long distance make me feel like I want to cry.
Probably
Why?
shouldn't say mine either, but I'm gonna say it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say it. I feel like what has strengthened our bond.
And there go the emotions.
You said long distance. It makes me feel like I want to cry.
I feel like what has strengthened our bond sometimes is the need to protect. I
Mm.
can never let one of y'all go
Ooh.
because I have a need to protect you. I even though I know that all my sisters are capable of protecting themselves verbally, emotionally, mentally, physically, I think something that continues to strengthen our bond is the nurturer inside of
Mm.
us. I feel the need to protect you. And I think with being long distance, like there is no distance that you can go where I will not be.
Rawr.
There is no, I don't care how far away you are from me. There's nowhere that you could go that I would not follow. So I think just keeping that in mind, like we know we have to make time for each other, and we do.
Look, not everybody speak at once.
Now I was trying to figure out how to say what I wanted to say. Um, I think our strength comes from our past, honestly. And
Mm.
I'm not gonna go deep into that, but our past has made us stronger. If we have been able to withstand that, I don't feel like there's anything that we can't. Because that was
Mm,
rough. It was
mm,
Mm-hmm.
rough. And without me
mm,
saying, I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about, but that was rough. And I can't speak for anybody else, but it took a toll on me because I put my heart into it. And when I put my
mm-hmm.
heart into something, I don't have way do it.
Yeah.
But the the fact that we were able to remain after going through such a tragedy, because I tell people all the time, losing a friend is a grievance. It's something that you can grieve because it is a loss. And when you lose people that you truly love and it's abruptly, you don't have time to prepare for it. So it makes it a little bit harder to process. But I think that that's what brought us a little bit closer together because it was a grievance that we all had together. And
Mm-hmm.
we all had to figure out how to move on together.
Yeah, that's good. Look at y'all getting deep. Y'all better let the Lord use
Don't start.
And use you properly. And use you properly, because baby, bridle my tongue. Amen.
you. Yeah. Jesus.
Ah, what has strength? I mean, honestly, I feel like that was what Beauty said. That was what has really strengthened our bond. Um, but I think that ultimately it's just been understanding, right? And understanding and compassion. If there's two things that I think that we have for each other, it's that we take the time to try to understand each other, and we are compassionate in what we and how we approach each other and how we handle each other. We're not handling each other with kid gloves, so to speak, but we are handling each other with care, because I do care about my sisters. I do not ever want anything bad to happen to you. And so when we went through that situation, that did strengthen us. But I think that because we took the time to understand each other and we were compassionate with each other, and all those things, it helped strengthen our relationship and the bond that we have. And when we started talking about love languages that day at Jazzy's house, where we were just like, you know, what are our love languages and how do we cater to one another, and how do we um make sure that we're honoring each other's love languages. Um, that was a big moment for us. I think if there was one pivotal moment in our friendship, it was that day at Jazzy's table, that first day, where we worked together. I think that that was our our what?
Foundation. Foundation. Let's
That's where
wait.
we
That
began
table.
at,
Yeah.
and where everything started, because I think that we were all friends before that, but it was something about that moment, right? It still is, and it's just something about that moment in time where I'm so happy that we were able to get a picture of that. But it's just something about that moment in time that solidified our relationship in a way that I don't think can ever be like broken, you know.
Yeah. That's dope. Especially I'm very protective of like my family. So having y'all at my house, and y'all don't know this, and I'm not gonna speak too much on it. Having them at my house, and we've met up multiple times. I've lost count how many times we done met up individually, together, duos, trios, quads. Okay,
It don't really matter.
um, it don't. But this last one, ooh, I'm not gonna cry because I'm a G. Okay,
Oh, okay.
um,
Come on, Jazzy, please.
um, this last time, y'all.
Just don't
my
hold it.
sisters my sisters came to church with me for the first Sunday of 2025. So when I tell you I am such a believer of what your purpose here is bigger than you. My answer for this question on our bond is, and Nancy, like, you always gonna bring it back to that. Yes, I am. Books.
Books.
Mhm. Books. and and I don't think that they
She
understand
got more
the
books and shoes.
by I don't think they
She
understand
do.
by the significance of that for me, because of the area that I grew up in. Reading wasn't something that we did. It wasn't something that I saw people around us doing. It wasn't something that was evident in my community growing up. So when I hear people be like, "Oh, I've been reading all my life," well, kudos to you, girl, because I don't know how, I don't know why. I just picked up a book last year, and that was on my brother's first birthday that he was no longer here on this earth. So books is always going to be the bonding factor for me, because when you and once again, get the meat and spit out the bones, all four of us have different lives. Yes, we all meet on common ground, but books is what brought us together. um so with that being the foundation for us, I always bring it back to that, because without books I wouldn't be here. I would not have found y'all if I didn't fall in love with books in 2023 of June. So that is the bonding factor for me.
Oh, she gonna be the
Oh Lord, bye.
one.
Let me see what these comments say. I missed all of them. Where
Foundation for
we
the
at?
community. Yeah, about to cry. Let me get your business off this TV. Uh, I think that just above all, like, and y'all hear me say this all the time, there is nowhere my sisters go that I don't want to be. If my sister's gonna be doing it, I want to do it too. I think the need to be close emotionally, and kind of like how Shawnee said that day we sat at that table, I definitely felt something change for us. I think that one of the best things that we have is we've paid attention to the small things. We pay attention to the big things too, but we pay attention to the small things, and I think that we don't take each other for granted. I've never one time felt like y'all took me for granted, my friendship, my love, any of those things. So I think that as long as we keep each other accountable, because I think I'm definitely one of those too who I probably check you a little bit if you're acting up a little bit. But I expect the same from them too. If I'm acting up, if I'm not doing something right, I expect for my sisters to check me. So I think that as long as we remain accountable, we do have an unbreakable bond. And there is no time, place, or universe where I could see us operating in the same space and not doing it together. So even though, yes, I do be like, oh, here we go back to the books. The truth is that Jazzy's favorite thing to say lately is
Go ahead. Go ahead.
a lot
It's
of
not
you
that hard.
guys came from friends.
Go ahead.
She stayed for booksterhood.
I can hear you. I'm sorry. Say that again. I can hear you.
Why'd you bring it up?
Say
She
it again.
stayed.
You gotta get a little
Hey,
louder.
if I get any louder, hell's gonna hear me. she,
Dramatic.
she stayed for booksterhood. And you can't have booksterhood without a sisterhood. so, 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 while she was looking for a book community, she accidentally got sisters. And while I was healing from a friend breakup, I found sisters. And while Beauty was in the middle of writing a book and just networking, she found sisters. Shawnee was just trying to prove to herself that she was more than a mother and a wife. And she found sisters.
Hey man. And in that, y'all, we are coming to the end of our episode, our very first episode, y'all. The shout out to the Booksplosive Girlies, because that community
That's
is
almost over.
absolutely amazing. Once again, I'm a G, so I ain't gonna cry,
Girl,
okay?
please.
But the way that y'all be looking out for us,
My tears are always thug tears,
I love
just
that
so
for
you
you.
know.
I love
Oh,
that for you. But the way
oh.
that the community shows up time and time again, I have been in rooms where people have DM'd me to make sure that I was okay, and I would have never thought that that would be something that would happen. So the way that y'all rock with us, the way that y'all just be, y'all are just amazing. Like, I have no words. I'll let everybody else say this piece for the community, and then we'll start to close it out.
I love this community. I I'm sorry.
What are you apologizing for?
I love this community. I am always excited to see you. Um I used to say all the time that I am the loneliest person, but people are always surrounding me. But I was lonely because I did not feel safe. I was lonely because I did not feel seen or heard. And kind of in the same respect as Jazzy, like, because of you guys, I always have someone to check on me. I always have someone who's waiting for me. I always have someone who's praying for me, someone who's hoping we're okay, who's, if I don't check in, I know that there are people who care enough to make sure that I'm straight. Did you eat today? Have you had any rest? They check on my mental health, they check on my spiritual health, they check on my physical health. I love this community very much. And I know that 2024 would have been a lot harder without all of you. So that's my two
Absolutely.
cents.
You're gonna? Okay.
Decision.
Okay. Uh, I ain't good at all this old mushy shit, but
Take it up.
I sincerely want to say thank you to our community for making my unsafe place a safe place.
Mm.
Hmm.
In the
Thank
words of
you.
your nephew, that's a bar.
Okay. Um, Thank you so much for being exactly what I needed at the time that I needed it. Um,
Coach Yusuf.
I don't do well with people, despite what it may look like. I don't do well with people. I'm very socially awkward, but I just want to say thank you all so much for having the patience to let me be comfortable enough to be here and not make me feel uncomfortable being who I am. So thank you for letting me be just the genuine me. I love you guys.
Aww. Y'all, just a few announcements as we wrap this up. The Bookexplosive C4 girls are going to Puerto Rico in September of 2025. That's this year, y'all. We are having
Damn.
a Bookexplosive bookcation in September, okay? Be sure to join our group me to get information on that. You can always DM us. Also, make sure you are following us. What was that? I can't.
Why is that
Make sure
shoulder out?
make sure y'all are following us across all platforms to get information about the Bookexplosive bookcation. Come on, shoulder. Make sure y'all DM us. And with that, that's a wrap for this episode of Cutting Up with
You forgot about
C4.
Shawnee.
What?
You
Yeah.
forgot
She
about
didn't get to
Shawnee.
say about the community.
She didn't get her closing
Oh, my
remarks.
bad. I thought she did. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Damn.
Sorry. Y'all
Dog.
should have did that before
I'm
the
playing a song.
announcement. Go ahead.
I have already told y'all on numerous occasions how much y'all mean to me, how much y'all make me cry, how much when the whole demise of
Miranda.
happened. Um,
Bye.
y'all were my main concern, and with that, I just got a little snippet of a song.
And that's why the Lord was leading me to skip her.
Gotta wrap this up. Listen, y'all. If you love what you heard today, share
Oh
with
my
your friends.
gosh.
Leave us a review. It'll definitely help more book lovers find us. It'll help more women find us because aside from books and reading, we definitely are a community that was built and established for women. So mute her now.
Bye.
Now.
Turn it off.
Out of control. Until next time, stay book explosive, keep reading, and remember, friendship and a good book can lead you anywhere. I'll see you
Be sure to hit
soon.
that follow button here and across all platforms. Hashtag Book Explosive C4.